So, ladies and gentlemen, as AI adoption accelerates, responsible governance and cybersecurity become important more than ever. So, for that, our next session, titled as AI Governance Securing the Future of Intelligent Business. And for that, I would like to invite our distinguished guest speaker with a huge round of applause. Let's welcome Mr. Manish Sehgal, partner, Deloitte.
My wish is to make it much more extravagant as it goes along. Uh, Over next 20, 30 minutes, my attempt will be to leave this room by seeding a thought in everybody's mind. AI हमारे साथ क्या कर रहा है और हम AI के साथ क्या कर सकते हैं. That's the whole intent. We are not going to talk about हमें AI develop कैसे करना है. We are not going to talk about AI productivity. There is enough information available. But probably we are going to look and spend some time on the other side of the coin. Let me start with few statistics and a story. Statistic number one, and it's as recent as this morning, because I had to submit my deck with Balkan 2 days back, so I could not have it included, but this is as real time as it could be possible. 43% of the organizations are claiming that now the attacks that they are experiencing are AI enabled. 43%. And almost 65% organizations in India are claiming that they are being impacted by deepfakes, which means every second or third organization is claiming that deepfakes is impacting them. Deepfakes kya hote hain? We'll just talk about that. But what I'm just trying to highlight is this, that this is no more theory. It's no more कि ऐसा हो सकता है, the situation ऐसा हो रहा है. What is happening is really for us to understand, and why this topic is important for DS Group is equally more relevant for us to understand with. I'll give one of the most recent hot from a bakery situation that the AI security world is dealing with. Everybody knows OpenAI? Yes, no, hands up. Like OpenAI, ChatGPT, हमने सबने सुना है. ChatGPT is a AI platform developed and introduced by a company called OpenAI. OpenAI for some time has been experimenting one of its most advanced models to see कि वो cyber security में कैसे impact और contribute कर सकता है. उसके लिए one of their most advanced version, 5.10 SOC, was being tested by the engineers to see how, and उस agent का task क्या था, was to hack and break a system, right? Because they want to see the potential of it. There's nothing wrong about it. End of the story, the agent did it. But what is concerning and an eye-opener for everybody is what they did. July 9th is when this most advanced agent was put inside a closet, जिसको हम sandbox बोलते हैं हमारे technology environment में. Sandbox is आप समझ लीजिए एक container है, वो container हर जगह से logged है. It's a controlled environment. उससे कोई ना बाहर जा सकता है ना उसके कोई अंदर आ सकता है. इस agent को उस container के अंदर रखा गया, उस sandbox के अंदर. And the task given to this agent was to see whether it can break and exploit and potentially hack the environment. And when I say this is a controlled environment, ये जो एक box है, it is not connected to internet. It is not connected to anything that makes an agent go out and feed some data. July 9th को जब ये system activate किया गया, what was revealed on July 11th that it hacked एक दूसरी company के system में. And it's a real story. The agent inside this box was so advanced and so knowledgeable that the agent had to find a way of proving that it can hack. What they did, the agent ने सबसे पहले क्या किया, and when I say agent, I'm talking about AI agent, उसने उस container की vulnerabilities को exploit किया. Container की vulnerability मतलब engineers को लगा था कि उन्होंने बहुत strong 4 digital walls बना दी हैं, and they all are logged. But actually there was a vulnerability in that system itself. So the agent first of all exploited the vulnerability of those 4 digital walls, and then it started to connect with everything possible. Because her system में कोई ना कोई vulnerabilities होती हैं. Vulnerability is nothing but a weakness in a system, जिसको हम अगर close नहीं, जैसे इस कमरे के let's say all the doors are closed, this is the only door left. अगर हमने इस दरवाजे के ऊपर लॉक नहीं किया, इसको बंद नहीं किया, तो इट्स अ vulnerability. Anybody can go inside out, right? So whether the systems are vulnerable or not is exploited by that. So this agent, first of all, exploited its own environment, which was totally unprecedented. And then it started to connect with other systems, and every other system had something very similar as a vulnerability or as a weakness. It ended up getting access to internet on its own. And it ended up going to a site or an AI platform called Hugging Face. So Hugging Face is basically an online knowledge library जहाँ पे सारे AI engineers आके collaborate करते हैं knowledge exchange करने के लिए. Now, because this AI agent was told that they have to find how to hack, it ended up going to Hugging Face, and there was no command given. And Hugging Face is an internet-facing platform, and the system was not on internet. What I'm trying to highlight to you is that the agent ended up achieving the objective, but how it ended up doing is totally unprecedented. अगर आप अभी गूगल करेंगे रोग AI theft, आपको पिछले एक हफ्ते के अंदर सारी इंफॉर्मेशन निकल के आ जाएगी. The more concerning part, OpenAI did not know it is all happening. When it went to Hugging Face, there were anonymous alerts, there was something which was not going right. They started to understand, and they ended up making a complaint to FBI. Now, what I'm trying to highlight is that जिस agent ने किया, उस agent के owner को नहीं पता कि वो system कहाँ जाके hack कर रहा है. It was only after revelation, after 1 week's time. Now, this is all happening in the most sophisticated environment, the companies which are producing AI agents. Imagine what happens to us, right? Right, sorry? To be very frank, there is no answer to it. They are not able to make out. I'll take a step back. What is AI? AI is a synchronization of commands which accesses various information available around you and does something. The biggest trust factor why AI lacks is this कि आपने एक command दी A plus B is equal to C. आप expect करते हो कि C answer आना चाहिए. But what we don't know, is it really coming from A plus B, or is it going from A square beta minus C square beta? Answer आपको C मिल रहा है. इस case में भी वही हुआ. The agent was able to hack, but the way it routed, it was totally unprecedented because the engineers themselves are not having control on it. And there's a question which was being raised that was it that they did not know, or was it that there was so much information available that there were not enough manual people to interpret what's going on? Last year, there was an incident, so this is as recent as July का ही मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ. Last year, there was an incident in which, in China, if I'm not wrong, 2 systems or 2 agents started to talk to each other. Okay, nothing wrong about it. But what they were talking was totally ununderstandable. The engineer who developed those bots could not understand. Now, are you understanding? 2 agents are talking, and the person who is supposed to control them has no clue what they are talking. What they are discussing was absolutely not understandable. The only thing that they could do was to plug out physically so that they stop. और इस इंसिडेंट के बाद, जो मैंने अभी आपसे शेयर किया OpenAI के बाद, यूएस की असेंबली में एक बिल पास का प्रपोजल दिया गया है, AI kill switch, which if approved, will authorize US government to have provisions of plugging the power off of US-based companies who are producing AI and AI-related products in case something of this kind goes. ये तो बहुत ही controlled environment में किया गया. Imagine if it goes to a production and what happens. So at the US Assembly level, you can do Google search AI kill switch, you will get. There is a proposal which has been put in the legislation, if proved, that will have a physical power for physically plugging off. Now, why I'm sharing this is because we cannot live in an environment which is not AI enabled. AI brings a lot of productivity, AI brings a lot of efficiency, but at the same time, AI does come with some security and risk concern, is what Balwant wanted me to talk about and share some perspectives around it. I'll give another example. I assume most of us are aware about cyber awareness security, right? The principles of cyber wargaming or cyber exploits have not changed with AI also. How somebody gets cyber breached is again, there is a unwanted threat actor who is trying to break into an environment. वो आपके environment में, जैसे हमने इस example का let's say this is an enterprise. The person who has a ill intent, they will keep knocking every door, every window. हर समय सुबह शाम कोई आएगा, shift पे change करेगा, कहीं भी अगर कोई भी vulnerability दिख गई, they will get an access to our environment. right? जिसको हम बोलते हैं possibility or discovery. They are trying to discover is there any weakness or not. And once there is a weakness, then they try to gain access to somebody's identity. So for example, if let's say I was not a authorized or a legal person to be here, but I saw a door open, I came in, and I sat, and maybe I'll just say, hey, I'm Balwant. I just presume identity of Balwant. Maybe few of us will believe, yeah, maybe he's Balwant because nobody knows it. But then when I'm giving that access of Balwant's identity, maybe I will start accessing and gaining some information which is confidential about an environment. And slowly, steadily, I will start elevating the information required and my access, which eventually may lead to an exploit slash a hack. ये principles आज AI के world में भी apply करते हैं. The only thing what AI is doing, and that is a real risk, is that AI is just so precise, AI is just so smart, AI-enabled cyber attacks are massive in scale. So the speed of execution, preciseness, and massive scale is what differentiates a traditional cyber attack, which was manual or human-led, versus an AI. When I was standing next to the window, I was just, of course, enjoying the weather. It made me memorize Jurassic Park. I'm sure बहुत हम सब ने देखी होगी Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park में आपको याद होगा सीन है जब बारिश हो रही होती है, and the dinosaur touches the fence, right? Just to see it and see the reaction. क्यों? Because dinosaur was trying to adapt to the behavior. क्या उसमें current है? अगर है तो of course, you know, it will walk. अगर नहीं है तो उसने पहले एक तार काटी, उसने फिर दोबारा टेस्ट करी, दूसरी तार काटी. AI is doing exactly the same in our environment. Only फर्क ये है कि AI is doing it continuously. They are testing each and every possible defense mechanism that we have by testing those wires, adapting themselves, and just trying to find what is that break hole that they get into. And that's how the raptor got into the Jurassic Park, and the AI environment, those agents will do it for us. And more concerning, यहाँ पे हमें किसी हैकर को 9 से 5 की शिफ्ट नहीं देनी, उसको कोई छुट्टी नहीं चाहिए, उसके लिए कोई वीकेंड नहीं है, उसके लिए कोई ईयर एंड छुट्टियाँ नहीं चाहिए. The agents are working 24/7 just to identify how to get in. And thus, there is so important reason that we secure ourselves. Now, you may say that, Manish, you have scared us the hell of what is to be done. How to protect ourselves? Answer is again AI. AI is the only thing that can help us protect to this scale of it. Why? Because, and it's all about who does first. If we have got an environment which is potentially weak, our cybersecurity colleagues, as the humans, can do so much of keeping a check, but then we have to start leveraging AI because the way hacker is going to speedily try to test the fence, we have to start testing our own fences in a manner that before there is somebody who discovers the potential vulnerability, we are able to fix it promptly. There was a news which said that Oracle, and because of AI advancements, there are vulnerabilities or weaknesses that prevailed for years, जो शायद किसी ने explore नहीं करी थी. Oracle has found more than 1,020 plus such vulnerabilities to be patched, and there is just not enough solution to do it, right? So our AI security is concerning, yes. There are risks, yes, but then the answer is again AI itself, right? With that, maybe I'll just spend some time on. Do we get a?
Can you move the slides?
Okay, I have to ask somebody. Okay. You may face this in and out in your daily life, wherein you get alerts which are prompting you to do something. You get situations which are prompting you to do something. And let me take a step back. Let's imagine I was not physically here. Let's imagine this is a screen, and on that screen, somebody named Balwant Singh Kabir. Balwant, I'm sorry, I'm just taking your name to make it correlative. But let's say Balwant comes on a screen and he says, I'm Manish Sehgal, partner Deloitte. Maybe the people who don't know who Manish and Balwant is, they will believe. अभी आप शायद वो नहीं believe करोगे because I'm standing in front of you, but this is exactly happening. There have been, and when I'll go correlate, I took example of 65% companies being hacked by deepfake, which is happening. Deepfake is nothing that AI generated sound, images, personalities, speaking style, standing style are just so real, it becomes very difficult for an individual who is not well informed, who is not well educated, to get into the trap that they should not be. We have seen situations, and whenever we get an requirement, we do it. We run deepfake sessions for organizations in which the senior leaders, CFOs, MD, chairpersons, they would come on a video call to mention that there is an urgency of something and we have to act upon it. maybe those are not real, but they are happening. And that is where this attempt of this workshop is, just to give you a point of view that there are two V's, validate and verify. Always keep that in mind. These are the only arms and ammunition you will have. Please validate what you're coming across in your personal life, when I say personal life from a cyber point of view, and your professional life, and please verify. You have got a request from somebody saying that there's an urgency, CFO has declared something, you have to do something. Yes, it's a stressful situation. Maybe it's very easy for us to talk because right now the environment is very safe and secure, but when you are in a real stress, maybe those brain chemicals don't let you behave the way you should do, and you may end up doing something wrong, either on your personal or professional side. So please remember, if there's only one takeaway of this meeting, the two V's are the only safeguards for you, which is validate and verify. That's all. उस साथ आप कुछ नहीं कर सकते हो, लेकिन अगर आपने ये भी कर लिया, it's a big achievement. These are just representations of what all is happening in our Indian environment is true, real, fake videos, enormous amounts of crores of attacks, ransomware happening, and I should just say an example. This is now becoming much more easier because the power of AI is also available in the hands of the people it should not be. On the side, when we want it to be more productive for us, it is equally compelling for us to do it. I'm not sure, but if you have heard those stories or not, there was a gentleman, his kid was in the US, he was traveling to India, and then at the night, the father got a call from somebody claiming to be a US-based cop, saying that your son has done an illegal activity on the mother soil, and this is the case, और आपको उसको bail equivalent करने के लिए पैसे देने पड़ेंगे. Now, so factual, right? US-based है, उनका लड़का है, कुछ काम किया है, और लड़के की आवाज़ भी, सब कुछ है. All is happening. Only thing is that father is not able to reach out to the child because they're saying, आपके बच्चे का phone मेरे पास है. Because that child was in the flight at that time. And the hacker who was trying to do it knew at that time he's going to be in the flight for 4 hours. They took advantage of that because the son was not reachable. So the environment was created रात के 2 बजे इंडिया में कि आपका बेटा US में है, परेशान है, किसी दिक्कत में है, कुछ हुआ है, आपको पैसे भेजने हैं. And the father ended up doing it because the deep fake played a role of making the thing so authentic that nobody could have challenged. And I'm sure as a parent, nobody wants to be in that situation, but if that happens, that everybody would just do whatever is required to get their child out of it. And that's exactly what the hackers slash the people who are in this business want to take an attempt. ये तो आपकी personal life में हुआ. Imagine very similar situation happens on the professional side. We can't say नहीं हम personal तो देख लेंगे, हम professional में हम rap नहीं कर पाएंगे. If you're not able to protect ourselves personally, it is very difficult for us to do it professionally because the stakes are very, very different. Right? Moving on. Few statistics, I think I've given examples, but 87% organizations are exploring the use of AI for one of their functions, which is very understandable. Everybody wants to leverage AI for all productive reasons. At the same time, 68% identify AI security and governance as a top implementation challenge. I'll go back to the example that I gave. A plus B is equal to C. Yes, productivity हमें आ रही है, लेकिन हमें पता ही नहीं वो कैसे आ रही है. That means we have to create some guardrails that we have to ensure that environment is secure and governed, and there are some principles, there are some best practices, there are some standards. But if the business is in a push that I have to go live tomorrow, and if somebody in the security, risk, governance, compliance team says, please hold on, we are not ready, this is the reason. Because nobody wants that your enterprise data gets exposed in a promptness of quickness that have to go live immediately if those validation, those checks are not done well. I'll give an example of how things can go wrong. And it's a real-time study without taking name of the client. It's a US-based enterprise. They adapted AI models to do a screening of candidates for their job roles. Everything was going fine, but then somebody identified that all the screening test results are pro-whites. That means not even a single black or dark-skinned candidate was being accepted by the AI model, and it was just so strange. Because कोई human involved नहीं है, कोई biases नहीं है. And you know what went wrong? The data that they gave to AI to be trained on had all whites. Willingly or unwillingly, the AI model had its own intelligence saying, okay, fine, you want me to select, that means you don't want me to select the ones with the dark skin or the non-whites. And that became a lawsuit. The company was fined. because the entire analysis and decision making was done on a AI model, which had a wrong data. Now imagine a situation that one of the departments here wants to go live. Let's go quick and let's go live with our AI, based productivity tomorrow. But has somebody looked into the data that has been given? Has somebody checked whether the data is correct or not? Because what the data you have given is ultimately going to get you the results. So yes, you may claim that yes, we have gone live our AI product, but if those checks and balances are not done, maybe the advantage you are trying to take is much less than the disadvantage it will end up posing you. About 4x increase in the AI attack surface. Uh, don't worry about the attack surface and all, but idea is that because AI is there, the exploitation levels have just multifold and much more increased than it used to be ever available. Another trivial fact, what used to take weeks and months of discovery, and give an example of the OpenAI thing that I told, that how an agent can go outside its container, connect to the other systems, and eventually connect to an internet to exploit. It was proven that the best hackers of world, if they do, they will take at least 21 days. And the bot take less than 48 hours. Which means that the time it takes to discover a vulnerability, जैसे मैंने दरवाजे की बात करी, and the time it takes to fix it, to have it bolted, it used to be, let's say, few days or few weeks, right? Balwant and his team as a CISO team would do that. But in today's environment, he and his team is stressed. Why? Because you do not know when the vulnerability gets discovered, and the time for you to patch is just so short that an unwanted attempt of getting into an environment goes it. So the window for us to react on the remediation that it used to be days/months has shrunk down maybe to few days or few weeks if somebody is taking advantage of AI and trying to get through our model. And hence, we have to be much more prompt in our environment. And AI security has become the top priority to protect sensitive data and maintaining the public trust. I'm sure you all know there is a Privacy Act in India which expects us to ensure that the personal data of the individual is taken care of. Now, please, just imagine that if things though are not taken in a right spirit, the exposure of personal data could not only mean the difference or in the business, but also unwanted regulatory actions and penalties, which of course we don't want. So we have to ensure that if we are using AI, that should be used with the proper security governance and risk principles as required. Moving on. I gave an example of these in my verbal commentary, but I'll just talk about it. What used to be an old style attack, it used to be having spelling mistakes, bad grammar, and you could make out this is not right because end of the day, an individual would have done it. But in today's sophisticated environment, AI writes every email and they're just so perfect. आप और मैं अपने business as usual के time में वो recognize ही नहीं कर पाएंगे. And that's where the phishing attempts which were less earlier, which were more manualized, but if now it is more AI driven, the significant differences are there. Fake bank calls we used to get, right? We all have experience. But now what you see is a voice cloned relative or a manager who is making a distress call. You are in a meeting, you get a call which is unwanted, SMS bhi aa gaya, stack bhi aa gaya. Just what they want is you to do a simple click. And then everything else is taken care of. Basic malwares, again, malware is an attempt of placing an unwanted code in your environment, which of course is being rewritten itself to avoid detection as a part of what AI does. And suspicious emails, which are now taken place by QR codes, WhatsApp, Telegram scans, and just go on. So again, what used to happen early in the manual cyber era still happening, but in a much more sophisticated, faster speed, and the massive scale, and hence for us to be much more intelligent. Moving on. Don't worry about the text, but the only thing I'm trying to leave here is that with the AI, the evolution of the threat landscape means the possibilities of threats, they have just multifolded. We spoke about deepfake, which, as I said, it will be as close as somebody standing in front of you on a screen, claiming that this is the situation. It will be very difficult for a naked human eye to make out if you are not really thinking of the two V's that I left here as an answer. Social crafted engineering situations, malware, ransoms, and of course, automated vulnerability discovery. As I mentioned, that there is no employee who has to run a 9-to-5 shop. If there are agents who are deployed to figure out what are the vulnerabilities on organization, they will just keep on doing it on and on. The last statement, what once took days now takes minutes. When threat accelerates, the near quantum speed defense systems can't be linear. We can't prepare ourselves for a defense mechanism the way we're doing traditionally. especially when we have advent of AI, right? I know we got a buzzer, but maybe we can just go to the last slide. I just want to leave as to what should be done for an AI secured environment. Can you go to the next one? I'll tell you. Go to the next one. Next. 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 That's it. The previous one. Yeah, that's all. So this is certain confirmed or a prompted list of any security requirements to be pre-prompted, and this is what would be required for us to ensure things are being done. That assess the AI use cases, classify risk, define ownership, deployment, the AI supply chain model, verify the AI models, data sets, third-party components integrity, secure test, validate it, there are no jailbreaks, there are no leakages, and then of course do a continuous monitoring. This all has to have a component of human involvement, because you should not be in a situation where you are letting AI decide everything on its own without any human involvement, something that happened apparently in the OpenAI case, and that is the only way for us to protect. So as we speak, this is one of the best practices. Of course, there were a few slides that I skipped, but this is one of the leverways I will do. And maybe next time when we meet, I will have much more to share, either on the advancements or to how to protect, or maybe some more best practices that can help us to do it. I'll go back. Fundamentals remain same. Please be vigilant. Please validate. Please verify. AI or any other prompts will keep on coming your way, whether it is on a personal side or on a professional side. If you as an individual are taking care of it, things will be much more convenient. I'll leave with another story. A very large international airline company, and I was sharing that on my booth when few of the DS Group colleagues came over. There was a situation when somebody had booked the ticket, and he made a call or I would say chat to the customer help desk, and the response came from an automated bot. It was not a human customer care, it was an automated bot. And he said, hey, it's a situation, I'm distressed, somebody in the family has expired, I have to go immediately, मेरी flight 2 दिन के बाद थी, can you prepone and all that stuff. Surprisingly, the bot responded, very sorry to hear your story, very sorry to know what you are going through. We have a policy for such situation, we'll offer you free airline ticket. Right? He said, wow, please, thank you so much, can you get me? He said, absolutely. The bot gets the tickets, the next flight, and the person goes. And when the person comes back, he says that, thank you for offering me the free ticket, but this is the ticket I had done, please give the money back. And the bot said, sorry, what do you mean, money back? You had done a travel, so why you need the money back? And then at the same time, the bot and individual said that this is what we corresponded. So of course, that the dialogue did not complete, and I'm sure you have experienced, agar dialogue complete nahi hota hai, then there is option said, okay, let me connect you to the human, right, human agent per se. And then when it went to the human agent, and he said the same thing, that I flew on this date, आपके bot ने मुझे कहा था कि free ticket मिलेगा, and अब जब मैं आपसे पैसे मांग रहा हूँ तो bot मना कर रहा है. And the human agent said the same thing, sir, sorry, we don't have any such policy. So he said, but I have got record with me, and what is done? Long story short, it was investigated that the bot, during the course of the interaction, went scrolling all the enterprise policies. उसने कहीं sad word पढ़ा, उसने कहीं free ticket पढ़ी, उसने कहीं distress customer पढ़ा, उसने कहीं complaint पढ़ी, and the bot made its own policy from nowhere and made an offer that never existed. Why? Because there was no human intervention. Why? Because nobody was monitoring what bot was doing. Why? Because there was no action. Everybody felt, wow, we are at the top of the world, we have got our bots to work, customers are happy. But this ended up being a financial penalty and, of course, a customer grievance. Nobody would think that this is what is happening, but this is reality. Every example I gave without the client name is reality. Of course, OpenAI, I mentioned about it. Thank you so much for hearing me. I'm happy to answer your questions if you have. And I hope I met the purpose that after you leave the session, just have things in your mind of questioning it. Sir, please.
This means that in order to audit AI, we need AI.
Sir, apparently yes. AI का तोड़ sir AI के पास ही है. In fact, I was in another public conference. We were discussing about AI regulations, and you will not believe that we ended up saying that only AI can suggest how to be regulated. AI will come up with its own regulation, because all the other regulations that politically / human-driven agendas are doing, they are just not meeting up the expectation. So, sir, audit करने के लिए आपको AI ही चाहिए होगा, in whatever capacity, form, and shape you take. I'm sorry, ma'am? Ma'am, hierarchy will remain the same. It will be so normal, ma'am, you will not be able to distinguish. That's where the problem lies. There is no different avatar. It is all within your daily routine. How can a naked eye figure out that this is wrong is only when we start practicing the two V's I mentioned. Uh, and this will help, ma'am. This is the only thing in today's world that can help you because they are just so advanced, they're so sophisticated. Um, Ma'am, I'm a cybersecurity practitioner for last 20 years. Ma'am, even I get fished. Situations होती हैं, right? हमें पता है कि वो नहीं है, लेकिन उस वक्त शायद आपको क्लिक नहीं करना है या आप कॉल पे हैं. There could be just situations that, and ma'am, hackers need that single mistake. That's all. Ma'am, voice cloning, absolutely. Deepfakes, voice cloning, they are just out there in the hands of the people. It should not be, and it is becoming much more severe. यहाँ तो मैम फिर भी हम हैक की बात कर रहे हैं. The story that I shared with you, controlled environment में मैम agent है जिसको test करा जा रहा है. The world's top AI engineers, OpenAI is valued at $856 billion company, ma'am. उनके environment they have no answer. They just can't answer this. They don't know what to do. It is as recent as last 2 weeks, so maybe we'll get to see. But if you go and search unprecedented AI breach, this is the first thing that comes, which says that, and it's also claiming this is the first real world AI agent related breach that has happened. Ma'am, AI आपके environment से उठ के किसी और company के environment में जाके बैठ गया, ma'am. What else to say? Forget about anything else. No physical security guard, no permission, nothing. Just because the vulnerabilities are there, the AI was just so intelligent to keep on doing it because it was just determined. Let me conclude with saying that AI is like a genie. आपने genie से wish तो करी है, लेकिन वो genie wish पूरा करने के लिए क्या करने वाला है is going to be very difficult. And AI is for good if you want AI to be good. But if you want AI to be bad, it is really bad. It is making, ma'am, humans very powerful. It totally depends how you want to use it. Ma'am, undoubtedly. आप AI से भाग भी नहीं सकते हो, जो मैंने पहले कहा था, but AI के साथ रहना है, we have to be really safe and secure, ma'am. Ma'am, undoubtedly, and this is what is not happening. 100%, ma'am. AI in an environment, ma'am, I'll get a bit technical. AI can tell you that DS group has these servers which are vulnerable and they need to be patched. It will give you analysis very promptly. It will give you the recommendation very promptly, ma'am. But ma'am, where the human intelligence comes is this: can I do it? Will that impact my business? Are there other interfaces that if I patch this, maybe there's a legacy application which will impact? Now that analysis is not something that AI can do, ma'am. There has to be an individual who will be held responsible. That patch is available, but do I go blindly and do it? If we do it, ma'am, हो जाएगा. लेकिन हो सकता है उस vulnerability की वजह से या उस patch की वजह से maybe other things get faulted. Humans play an extremely important role, and that will also a human in loop is must, ma'am. If there are 10 steps, let 9 steps be there, but there has to be at least one step before the final commit happens for a human to be confirmed. Is that human intelligence can't be taken out in that context, ma'am. 100%, ma'am. Verify and validate are my two V's, ma'am. I'm leaving it on here for everybody to start accepting that. So, it's a black box, sir. It's a black box. Sir, I'll differ. I'll differ. I feel there was biases in the data. I feel because I have studied that. I can't reveal more, but I have studied that. Yeah. Yeah. So there was a racist biasism in that setup. Otherwise, there is just not possibility that is not even on a single day. Sir, AI did not, but sir, human involvement है ना sir, वही तो मैं बोल रहा हूँ. AI ने कुछ, sir, AI उस, I don't know whether we were there at the beginning of the session or not. The open AI test, were you there, sir? Did you, right? AI did not do anything wrong. The agent was supposed to hack. It hacked. The result is met, but what they did to achieve was not right. And that's what the example I gave, that A plus B is equal to C is what you expect the AI to do. But what goes inside that black box, you don't know. You only get to see the C, sir, which is the result. But वो किस synopsis, किस analysis, किस algorithm, किस steps के through जा रहा है, we have no idea. The black box says we don't know what's happening inside. Yeah. Two things are FOMO. Yeah, absolutely.
Seen the drawbacks,
Absolutely.
right? We have been running around cases and everything around that. Why are we running ahead? And probably every organization of any level, of any capability,
100%.
right? And
100%.
crazy around it.
100%. And sir, the
And we have often been hearing, not from the HR, I'm talking from the business perspective, that we say AI is there to replace human. You yourself said that human intervention is a must.
yes, correct.
But organizations are saying that replace human with AI.
Right,
IT is doing it very well.
right.
How do we tackle that?
Sir, these two are very principle-based statements. They have to be double-click for it. AI is going to replace humans is of course an exaggerated one because it takes attention of it. But sir, what really is happening is this: every value chain has some very mundane and rudimentary tasks, which if an individual or a human agent is taking 8 working hours, can be done by 1 hour. सर प्रोडक्टिविटी है, स्पेशली उस मेंडेन जॉब में, चाहे वो लेट्स से पोस्टिंग का काम हो या एक नया रिकॉर्ड बनाने का, देयर कुड बी एन नंबर ऑफ थिंग्स. Why everybody is going crazy, sir? Because the productivity gains are visible. But at the same time, the other side of the coin is should not be overlooked, which has I have shared enough examples of that. So, sir, not being there in this space, and informally I can tell that there is a FOMO also. To be very frank, कि मेरा compete कर रहा है, मैं कुछ नहीं कर रहा. मैं जितनी भी board meetings में आता हूँ, सबसे पहले मेरा question यही आता है because all the directors are in other companies and they get to see that those companies are doing it. So definitely, absolutely, there is a FOMO. But doing something without structure is more problematic. And hence, I was referring to that slide that in case the businesses are being told to hold on because some tests are going, this is what is going behind. You need to ensure, and to be very frank, sir, you didn't ask me a difficult question, but let's say you ask me that, Manish, चलो ठीक है, हमने validate भी कर लिया, test भी कर लिया, क्या guarantee है कि वो wrong नहीं जाएगा? Sir, कोई guarantee नहीं है. There is no absoluteness. But this is the bare minimum for us to do, of not keeping our eyes closed, of not validating testing, of not performing the human in loop test before the actual commit goes, just to validate it. And sir, we learn with our experiences. शायद ये सेशन अगर मैं 1 साल पहले दे रहा होता, मेरे पास आपसे शेयर करने की तरह कुछ होता नहीं. बिल्कुल, सर, हम लर्न कर रहे हैं. Absolutely.
So, Manish, I understand that pros and cons of both, right? I, I'm loud enough. Yeah, I also see the possibility and opportunity of a new function or a career that is built, right? AI वाले लोग हैं, but AI protect जैसे बड़े नेटवर्क लोगों के पास बाउंसर्स होते हैं. So that means every organization or every department will also have to have people, and I'm talking about human interaction, who's going to physically and intellectually keep a tab on the kind of AI that will be used or the tools that will be prepared for that function. So do you see that instead of AI taking away jobs, it is going to create another function of skilled people?
Ma'am, it's already happening.
It's
It's
happening.
already
So
happening.
what is this career?
Ma'am, it's again for the low skilled mundane
लो
jobs.
स्किल तो मेंटेन
हाँ,
हो गया,
हाँ,
लेकिन
उसी
अगर आपको उसको थोड़ा सा और रिफाइन करना है, हाँ एनहांस करना है, then you will like company like us, जो repetitive jobs है उसके लिए very good, but repetitive jobs के साथ साथ जब हम उस पे advance जाते हैं, for example we are using it in hiring or we are using it in quality, etc., then we will have to have a separate workforce who's going to oversee and overlook कि हमारे कहीं टिप्स एंड फॉल्स तो नहीं होने.
yes, ma'am.
Are we future risk ready?
बिल्कुल.
तो ये करियर का नाम क्या होगा?
Ma'am, AI security, AI governance, AI risk is a portfolio.
तो मतलब हमारी नेक्स्ट जनरेशन का हम उसके लिए तैयार कर सकते
बिल्कुल मैम, बिल्कुल आप कर सकते हैं, and that is going to be the league, and very likely it will be sitting with the security function that Balwant leads, and that's what was going to happen. Few organizations have kept it as a analyst at the 3 lines of defense में सबसे पहले, और जो आपकी second line of defense है, जहाँ पे risk, compliance, governance है, they are responsible to release these frameworks, release these guidance notes, release these do's and don'ts, ताकि जब businesses adapt कर रही हैं AI को, they are able to keep this principally. उसके बाद internal audit team आके check करेगी whether they have been done
So
correctly.
there will be a new vertical of skilled
Yes,
people.
yes. On
Skilled
AI
workers is
security,
going to
on AI
AI
security, AI
security.
governance, absolutely, ma'am.
Yeah.
It is already happening. It is one of the much more in demand.
बलवंत ने सही बात किया. So you can ask the question. The next gen
Yes,
thing that is
absolutely. AI security.
पता है सबसे अच्छा क्या होता था जब हम कंप्यूटर्स यूज करते थे सबसे सेफ कंप्यूटर इज दैट विच इज नॉट कनेक्टेड टू इंटरनेट सबसे सेफ कंप्यूटर
Yeah.
So you can.
Actually, it is true. So it is true. Yeah, yeah. So it is said in our security world that if you don't want to be hacked, what is the answer? Dump the machine under the seabed, nobody can access it. That's the way it is looked at. Otherwise, if the machine is connected to stable, आज नहीं तो कल वो compromise होगी ही होगी. That's a yes. Advancement, consciousness. Correct. Make sure that those checks and balances are in place.
All right, everybody, that was Mr. Manish Sehgal.
Thank you
Let's
so
give
much.
a huge round of applause. Thank you so much for sharing your valuable insights. Now I request Mr. Santosh Kumar Singh, Senior Vice President, IT, to kindly join us on the stage and felicitate our guest speaker. Let's give a huge round of applause.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much to all the
Hope
participants who
the purpose
joined
was
us through all the 4 sessions that we had. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to break for lunch. Please enjoy your meals and have the time to connect with your colleagues. And our next session will be starting at 2:15 p.m. sharp, so I request you all to kindly join us by 2:10. The topic will be AI in manufacturing and innovation. Looking forward to see you and have an engaging session. Thank you so much.